Alrighty, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and beautiful people of I am. How's everybody doing on this blessed and beautiful day? Let me see. Do you see me? Yeah, you see me. All right, yes. So good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. I hope everybody's doing absolutely amazing. I want to welcome everybody back to another session of Smart Monics for our New York Kill Zone analysis. And today, we have the Market Watch team with us. We have Miss Bridget, Mr. Florin, and Mr. SM the G. If you guys want to say what's up to go live for just a moment.
Good, what's good? Yo, what's up?
All righty, right? And then we still have Mr. Lee Page. He's out traveling with the family, doing his thing. So we send our regards to Lee Page and his family. Hopefully everybody did great on yesterday's session. I know yesterday we were able to catch a few pairs by market value, and overall we had some decent pippage, not swing pippage yesterday, but yesterday was a pretty good day. So I was overall happy with yesterday's results. And today we're gonna take a look today at some additional pairs and see how everything is working. Manny, how about a face cam? I'm not a face cam kind of guy for some reason. I think about Jerry Springer back in the day, and I'm just not a face cam kind of guy. I'm not too sure why, but I'll keep that in mind. And I think I concentrate a lot. I think I concentrate too much, so face cam wouldn't do me well. All right, but let's take a look at what we got going on in the market. Let me see here. What am I looking at? All right, let me get out of here. We are still working on the new harmonic scanner. And then let's come on over here to the regular harmonic scanner. All right, we have a few pairs that we're looking at. SM's looking at some euros for a sell across the board. God bless you. Florence looking at some shorts on the pounds across the board. So that's going to be pretty interesting. We're going to take a look at the Euro NZDs, the Euro odds, the pound chef. So we're going to take a look at that. And then Bridget's looking at the USDs. So we're going to see how these fare out today. Okay, let's try something new. I'll let you guys know. All right, I'm not used to to the face cam stuff, but I'll let you guys know. All right, so let's just get a quick run through of the scanner. Let's see what we got cooking up over here today. Florent, and again, part of my voice. Florent, Bridget, SM, just keep me posted if you feel like any of those are approaching entry zones before I do the analysis. Oh, and one thing that I want to say is that yesterday, guys, believe it or not, you guys are not going to believe this. We were looking at USD Chef. So big shout out to SM. We were looking at USD Chef. SM and Florent were going head to head about whether USD Chef was going to go bullish. I did the analysis. I felt like USD Chef was going to go bullish. And it's crazy because we completely forgot to show this pair on the session. And this actually ended up being the best run out of all of the pairs. We were looking at like a little type 2, 6 pip pullback, and almost a 90, about a 90 pip run to the high on USD Chef. It was really, really amazing. I'm actually looking for, maybe a potential little short at the zone on Chef. We're going to see how that works out. So I just want to say I apologize. We didn't even get in it yesterday, which is crazy. It just completely blanked from our mind. But we're going to do our best not to forget, because sometimes we're here, guys, and we're just geeking out. And, that's just what we do. But let's come on over to the market. Let's see what's going on. A lot of people are still anticipating some of these pairs to go higher. I think right now a lot of people are just still trying to figure out what's happening with this dollar and what's happening with these euros and with these pounds. They've just been on a very, very strong trend, which is good if you've been trading with the trend overall. Okay. So we'll circle back to EU. I want to first take a look at some of the yens here really quick. Yes, we're going to be checking out GN, and we're going to be checking out USD Chef. Yes, we're going to be checking those out. They have them on the board today. Alrighty. Want to take a quick look at some of the yens. So we was looking at some of the order flow for some of these yens. Looking at AJ here. I'm going to go a little faster today, but we're looking at AJ here, right? So we had these daily highs, as we could see here. Let me get my little brush tool. Right, you see AJ was coming off of that daily high right over there. We had a lot of accumulation building up right here. In AJ, we had some of these equal lows. So the market just kind of holding this zone over here. And we had a small break of that low, right down there. Now, if you look at this AJ, right, and you're looking at AJ from the high low right over here, you'll notice AJ is kind of really just holding that 50% level. Now, I'm just really trying to think about what's going to be happening with the yens, because we could always see a liquidation. We could always see, obviously, on GJ, even though GJ is at a weekly LB, I still eventually want to see GJ go a little bit higher. We could potentially see AJ come a little bit higher. So, it wouldn't be far-fetched to see that 618, 7685 area get rated before we get a bigger move down, right? So taking that move up and then taking that move down, that's something that could be possible. But if we're looking overall at AJ over here, you see the market is in a really, really strong price correction. It's kind of like a sideways consolidation, not really a flag, not really a wedge, just really a sideways moving market. So if we take a look at the order flow, we'll see that from the daily, it's coming down here. We're getting these break of lows here. We have unmitigated zones here, unmitigated zones at the high, which is where we could see the market come back up. And then we have these zones right here, which were liquidated. Over here, market came down, violated some more lows, and then the market's moving back up. And as the market's moving back up, you see right over here at this next POI, we had additional mitigation. Over here, we already looked at a few of those. So you'll see that the overall order flow for AJ is bearish. Now we're looking at AJ and we're kind of looking at this counter trend over here. I noticed like some of the price action. We have a 1 hour LB kind of just sitting right here in the market. You can see that break of structure, little accumulation build up, sitting for a 1 hour LB. You see we're kind of getting that third hit on a trend line. Again, trends are subjective, but for me, a 3-point touch on trends are just, for me, always something that I like to pay attention to, right? So for me, just adds a little confluence. So I'm just wondering if we're going to end up getting a short rally or a little push up on AJ as AJ gets ready to start approaching this zone. Now, the yens are already moving down from where they're at. I know this candle started moving. It moved maybe 15 pips. But this is still like a good 50 pips moving back down to the POI. So maybe there'll be some ability to, maybe take yens down for, the New York session. We're going to see how that feels. But overall, I do want to see how the yens are going to react as it comes lower, down to this this 90.00 area. So we do have a whole number sitting right over here. It's not something that we do want to overlook. So I really want to see how the yen is going to react. So maybe 50 points south for New York, and then we'll see how it starts maybe setting up for Australian to maybe, start taking a little run back up. So we'll see what happens with that. And then if we start taking a look at some of the other pairs as well, if I take a look at GJ, right? If we take a look at GJ, we see GJ still coming down, right? So GJ coming down from that high yesterday. And if you guys remember, I said I didn't want to pay attention to GJ unless GJ broke those lows, right? Because this is that weekly. Again, let me come here to the daily. We do have kind of like that last high sitting, okay? Let's take a look, right? We have that last high sitting right over here. So that's where we're getting that volume build up. We have a decisional. We have an extreme above here. But these are very, very big runs. Moving on to the upside, right? We talked about this yesterday. You're talking about over here, 1,500 pip run to the upside. So I don't think, GJ is just going to fly up 1,500 pips. Eventually, when it does come to that area, those are going to be good zones. But normally what we would see is a price model, right? And that's what I feel like we're looking at over here, right? We have that double break of structure, that, choke plus sitting right over here. So we have lots of accumulation sitting here, lots of accumulation sitting here. And then this last high, which is trading below these lows and right around these highs right over here. I think this could, potentially serve as like a good area to get a little bit of action to the downside, right? So as we come over here and we start to look at GJ, let's come back over here. Let's start to look at GJ. Same thing like AJ, right? I think that these yens could probably push down a little bit more. And I think after they push down, now that we have these break of lows here, I think after they push down, we could see some accumulation, building this right back up into that high, into that POI, right? Because look, you see this, we have a multi wave coming down. So that means that we have lots of traders stacking up sell orders in here. And again, once the books are too heavy, the banks are going to definitely liquidate that. They're going to turn that around. They're going to get everybody out. We should get a nice little push to the upside. And then if this zone ends up holding, we'll potentially get that yen to keep coming on down. All right. So if we take a look, again, pardon my voice. Wow. I didn't realize my voice was so hoarse. But, and it's super dry for some reason. But, and we take a look at the yen sitting right at this low. This is actually a high volume zone right here at this low. So we're going to see how the yen also reacts off of that low, which is about 35 pips from there. And then also the yens can come even a little bit lower right down to this area as well. So I want to see how far down these yens may want to move. And we see our low high. We're kind of sitting right around our 127. Right around that wick, right around this area. So maybe we could get the market to drop even a little bit more before turning up. All right. But this right here is the highest volume zone in this entire range, which is this red line. So we're going to see how these yens look coming down. So feel free to take those, look at those on some lower time frames and just and see how those keep moving on over to the downside. All right. So, but we'll be paying attention to those and we'll see what happens. But AJ, GJ, really like those as well. CAD-JPY, I did want to see a little bit higher, but we'll see what happens at this area. I forgot what the analysis was, but we're just gonna keep this thing pushing. USD Chef. That's why we didn't look at you. Oh yeah, USD Chef's right here. Okay, we just did it. Mark it up on the scanner. Alrighty, but let's come over here to USD Chef. Now, I didn't even realize I had this same POI here on USD Chef, but let's take a quick look at this USD Chef right over here. We do have a little bit of an interesting zone sitting. So I want to see how this POI is going to look. Another reason why I want to see how this POI is going to look is because we also have some wave convergence going on over here with this USD Chef. Now, my only issues with these USDs is this dollar index, right? So with this dollar, again, pardon me, hold on. With this dollar, again, dollar's just been really holding strong, rising higher and higher, coming back to that 105 area, right? That's where we got the drop off. That was the first key number for the Feds. The second one was that 107 area. So that 107, 108, that's the second key area that we're looking at. So I'm just wondering if we're going to get a nice drive up to that 105 or if it's going to literally just drop from here. So that's why for me it's a little bit difficult, but we'll see what happens. Obviously, the only thing we're going to do is we're just going to continue to follow the order flow, and as long as this US dollar is continuing to make highs, which obviously it is right over here, may pull back down a little bit, so we'll probably get some reactions at that zone. But as long as this dollar is moving up, we're going to hold those analysis. So that's why we do want to be a little precautious with what's happening on this USD Chef right over here. So if I just take a quick analysis and then we'll look at those euros and we'll look at those pounds. Give me a second to just take a second look over here at this USchef and to see what's happening. All righty. And then after this, we're going to look at the euros and the pounds. Yes. All right, let me see. So we had high, low, high. All right, so that was my high, low. That is 50%. sitting just below the 50%. High, low, low, high. This was, boom, liquidated, down, down, up. Okay. All right, not a super favorable zone for me. Yeah, I guess we're going to see what happens with this. Now, let me see something. High, low, high, volume build up, low, volume build up, high, low, some volume build up, low, low, low. Yeah, maybe we'll get a little move off of the zone. It may not be the whole move, but maybe we'll probably get a pullback over here. If that DXY keeps climbing, maybe we'll get a small retracement in the zone. Get this to mitigate. Pardon me. Wow. Get this to mitigate right down here and then potentially continue to take this back higher into some of these more high volume zones up in this range. Alrighty, and in the event that it does dip lower, then obviously, we'll start looking for buys right down here in these ranges as well, because you see there is a very, very good volume build up. We do have these highs being broken, new highs being made right over there. So we'll see if we can get a good setup from USD Chef from here. And if it happens to be a good setup and it keeps going, then we'll probably just maybe follow that down until we get look for a better buy to the high. So we'll see what happens with that. Very speculative, but feel free to just keep your eyes on that. And obviously, we'll swing back for that. Okay, we'll swing back to that. Let's take a look at some of the other euros as well. So at the top of the list, we have, yes.
I didn't know if you wanted to take a look at USD CAD. The news is about to come out in about 10 minutes.
You CAD, let me see what's going to happen with this CAD. So I know this CAD's been working this equal high right over here. Let me refresh this. Okay. Alrighty. So I know CAD's been working this equal high. We're going to see this right over here. Again, this came a little bit higher in the zone. Really just was working that high. More so the extreme compared to the decisional, which I should have honestly put the extreme because it was so close to the decisional. Had that little run down. Let's get rid of that. Okay. And we see ECAD is really holding that equal high. So I'm going to have to see what happens with this. Let me see something. CXY, Canadian Dollar Index. Alrighty. Let's see. So you have one. Okay. WMW. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, just following this market structure, it looks like this CAD might end up going bullish from here. So that means the CAD will probably gain strength. I'm not reading the news, just going off of technicals. Let me see. I didn't even read the CAD news. It's got some jolts opening, so hopefully that's positive. If that is positive, if USD is stronger, it'll go up. If the CAD is stronger, it'll go down. Alrighty, so if this CAD follows this analysis, right? I do something here. It's called the WM, right over here, W. Whenever we see the WMW like that, I kind of look at that as like some of my double bottoms, and then I see this 1, 2, 3, 4 point correction. More than likely, that's probably sitting right around that 618. Yep. And so if we end up getting a positive news release over here, and this Canadian strengthens from the job openings, and we come back over here, if CAD gets stronger against the dollar, we should get CAD to drop off from this high, if I'm correct. So, and that's good. If the CAD drops, it doesn't really have anything to do with USD Chef, but I would like to see the USD come down as well. All right, so let's take a quick look over here. What's happening with Chef? Alrighty, so UCAD. All right, so much similar to this is dropping in about 10 minutes. So very similar to the goal that we were looking at. If we look at our high low right over here, right? We're holding at the 618. Now you see how this 618 is it's a very interesting 618 because we still have a very, very strong pivot zone. Right over here, very good price reversal zone. We have a hit on the outside, a hit on the inside. This is what we used to call PRZ zones back in the day, if you guys remember, price reversal zones. So these have a tendency to work pretty strong when you're at that golden zone for that 618. Alrighty, so just taking a look at this, we may, right? Not a guarantee, but we may see that 4-point correction where obviously when the market starts to come down, we get that 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, that cat, I'm telling you, no, the cat 8 is just this cat wants to be, it put me in a bad mood this morning. The cat comes out meowing, meow, all day, bothers me. He just wants to be on your lap, under your shirt, on, like he wants so much affection. It's like Kevin Hart. And he's like, you know, when Kevin Hart talks about that wife, he's like, who wants a happy wife that you come home and the wife is always like, honey, oh my, you're home. Oh my God, you're home. It's like, get away from me. You know what I mean? Like, sheesh, like, hold on. So I think that's how I'm feeling right now. I feel a little bit overwhelmed. So let me not talk about that because I'm going to start digressing on this cat. I love my cat. Coolest cat you'll ever meet in the world. Right. But let me, sorry. I know you guys hear the cat. I hear the cat. It's driving me crazy. Don't talk about the cat. All right. Anyway, similar to this 4-point correction, this is kind of what we did on gold over here. This was that last week hit on gold that we ended up taking. Remember when we got that sniper shot on gold right over there? Literally just a beautiful run down. So we might see something very similar to that, right? Where we get that 1, 2, 3, 4-point correction at the low. And this is considered a sideways flag pattern, which is usually a continuation, you know, to the downside and stuff like that. Now, obviously, depending on how you're trading, most traders like to only have their trades come into strong premiums. And obviously, if the market view CAD comes up in this zone, these would be great areas to look at, you know, CAD moving to the downside. So people might look at this and say, hey, listen, this is liquidity. We're probably going to get induced. This market's going to keep going up and yada, yada, yada. All right. Yes, we know that. I know that. Everybody knows that. But it still doesn't take away from the fact that CAD can potentially drop from here. So if we do get positive news on CAD for those Joel's job openings, this market structure right here looks like it wants to go bullish. We'll get that strength against the dollar, and more than likely, we'll probably get this USD CAD to drop at the high. So if that does happen, that'll be pretty awesome. This is still a decent high volume zone, right over here. So that's about 150 pips to the downside. So we're gonna see what's happening now. Do I feel super excited about the CAD? No, I don't. But if we get the right confirmations to enter USD CAD, I will probably jump into USD CAD and just see how USD CAD ends up reacting. All right, so let's just take a quick look at CAD. If we are seeing CAD, obviously here on the 1 hour, we can see that we do have some break of lows, right? Which is, you know, a decent sign over there. We got some break of lows right over here from that market high, from that last pullback. We have a few candles, you know, breaking the lows, which is also a decent sign. So as we start to come down into the 15-minute and we look at the market structure, we could also see very similar market structure where we have high, low, we have accumulation, and then we have our TTL, which is our trend line liquidity, kind of moving back up to the upside. So it's a decent price model moving back up. And on the 15-minute, if you could take a look over here, we also have a bit of an ending diagonal. So usually after a like at the end of a wave, you'll get somewhat of an ending diagonal. And then this is where we start to see price compress, right? So you see the price is just making those contracting highs and those contracting lows. And it's kind of like bottlenecking in that area. So when that happens, this is a price compression. So price compression, you know, you guys should know this from the boot camp, obviously. But if you guys have not went through the boot camp, obviously price compression just means there's a lot of volume building up in that area. And then after the volume builds up in that area, we'll usually get a big move to the downside or a big move to the upside. Alrighty. But it seems like we probably get a move to the downside. You know what I mean? So we'll see what the so we'll see what happens with this cat over here. So let's drop this down even lower, and then let's take a look at what this cat wants to do. Alrighty. All right, let's come in over here. We got some divergence on the cat at that high. You know what? I think I'm gonna go for it. I think I'm gonna put a tight stop. I'm just hoping we don't get the stupidness of the market pushing up and then pushing down. But if we get a decent confirmation, I think I'm gonna go for a tight stop, and I'm gonna try to swing, get this nice little push to the downside, especially because we also have a small 15-minute imbalance over here that wants to get filled out. So that wouldn't be too bad. At that high, you're looking at about 40 pips. I'm not mad at 40 pips. So Bridge, you have a good eye over here. And let's see what happens with this. So right now on the 15-minute, even though we have the consolidation, even though we kind of have that equal high there and that news, we still want to get a little bit of a turnaround in here. Now, what I don't like is the strong bullish engulfing here, breaking that high. We're getting some dojis. There's still bull dojis. So I'm going to come down to the 5. And then as we take a look at the 5, this news is going to come in a few minutes, and we really don't have the right confirmation. Okay. We don't have the right confirmation that I want to look. But if you guys want to take a small risk, hey, listen, no risk, no reward. If you guys want to take a small risk on CAD in hopes that that this works out in our favor, let me see, we're about 4. Yeah, we could do about 10 pips to the upside. That should be more than enough. I'll say maybe we could do a 10 pip high and then maybe like a 40 pip TP back down over here. So maybe we can get that. I think that's what I'm going to do for this CAD news that's about to pop in 2 minutes. So I'm going to take a light risk, and I'm going to see what happens myself. Anybody that gets in, remember, just get in at your own discretion. And most importantly, please just make sure that you guys are following your growth plan. All righty. Just put in your starting balance, put in your account goal, put in whatever you want to risk per trade. So if you're going to put a 10 pip stop loss and you want to do a light risk, then what you're going to do is you're going to put a 0.5% risk with a 1 to 4. Sorry, 0.5. How come I cannot put a 0.5% on here? That is so weird. Okay. Well, anyway, if you're doing a 1 to 4, just come over here and just cut that in half, right? And then you'll know exactly what you need to do, what you need to make, and what you need to risk. Okay? So let me see over here. And then, all right, that CAD news is about to drop in a minute. All right, and then let's see what happens. Oh, whoa. Oh, come on. This somehow just answered me with a stop loss and an entry at the same time. That is so stupid. It just did that. And you guys probably hear my baby. I'm sorry. Everybody's crying this morning. The baby, the cat. Alrighty. Honey, could you close the door? Alrighty. There we go. Alrighty. Good job. Good job. Good news analysis and good eye, Bridget. All right. You guys jumped in CAD too or no?
Yes, I did.
That's good. Florin, did you jump in CAD? SM?
No, I didn't even jump in it,
Yeah, playing,
I
y'all playing too many games. I hope you're not scrolling through your Instagrams. Market Watch team getting comfy over here.
Stop.
Yep. Yeah, because you know how this news do. Alrighty. And then let's come over here, CXY, and alrighty. Alrighty, opened low, but look, we get that CAD pushing high. Did you guys get into CAD? Did everybody get into CAD? Did everybody get into CAD? I forget that there's like a 40-second delay on my stream sometimes, but hopefully you guys got that. Alrighty. Now just be careful because sometimes after news, the news will sometimes go down and then go all the way back up and then go all the way back down, and it'd be doing that extra stuff sometimes. And then sometimes it just drops off the face of the earth. So hopefully this is one of those times. That would be great. Alrighty, because it's not like it's many pips just yet. But. Alrighty. Bridget, that last position I opened up, I went to modify my stop loss, and I don't know what I did, but I put my stop loss automatically triggered by my entry, and then it closed me out with my spread, my commission, everything. I just lost like $1,000 for no reason. I'm like, come on.
No.
But I had a good day yesterday, so it's all good.
Yes. Looks like UJ is.
All right. Let's take a look at these other ones.
UJ. I'm sorry. GU. Sorry.
GU. Oh yes, we didn't even get to look at the pounds yet. We still have to look at the rest of these pairs. And I only have 30 minutes left on this session because I have to run to the dealership today. Let me see something. You can. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm only a few pips in, but I took partials at that low, and then I just put my stops at my entry, and I'll just let it swing. So if it swings down, it'll swing down, and we'll see what happens with that CAD. Alrighty. All right, let's take a look at what else we got going on over here. All right, so you guys know how I feel about the yens with AJ and GJ, so we will see what happens with these as well. And remember, there's some volume built up here, but overall, I want to see how that market reacts as it pushes back up. Let's take a look at, let me see. All right, let's go over to EN and EA. Let's take a look at what these are looking at. Alrighty. Alrighty. EN. Alrighty. And what did let me see something over here. Alright, that U chef moving. Okay. I'm gonna wait for U chef to set up over there. Yeah, I'm gonna look at these right now. I'm gonna look at, I think, 4 or 5 more pairs. I'm going to do it pretty quick, like I did the previous pairs, and then I got to get out of here because I have to run. Alrighty, so again with EN, we looked at both of these weekly highs over here. Again, it was a nice hit off that weekly high. We had some nice longs off those lows. So if anybody was swinging, these ENs, you were getting good 700-800 pip runs back and forth. So they have been phenomenal. Now, when it comes to the euros and the pounds, right now it's like really super speculative because we're looking at some lows on euros and we're looking at some lows on pounds, and they may look like they want to come back up. But if we're just following, this flow over here, let's take a look at what we got going on. Right, we're going back to kind of like these weekly high lows. Right, we have a decisional, and we have our extreme highs or lows right over here. And obviously we could see that our decisional zone was already mitigated and that market started pushing down. So if we're looking at this EN on a daily perspective, okay, we're looking at this EN on a daily perspective, we can see from this high, this EN came low. You see that we are generating some liquidity right over here at this low, which is setting up for some potential longs as EN approaches back at the zone. All right, we can see right over here as well. We have a very, very small. Let me put this over here, right? We have a very, very small. What? Oh, am I like doing everything wrong today? What's going on? We have a very, very small candle sitting over here at this area. See, the wick is kind of like up in that zone. So I wanted to see that stay under that a little bit, but we're going to see how that looks. But overall, with that break of low, this market accumulating right over here and then moving back up, very, very similar price model, we can kind of get that same price action where we start to get this market to start to generate new lows, right? So we have high, low, high, break of structure. We kind of have some liquidity building up, and then we have this nice move on to the upside, right? So we could potentially get some lows back in this zone. Alrighty. Now, if I were to take any shorts from this zone, this is SM is usually has a very good eye. This is another idea that SM looked up. So if we were to take any shorts from this zone, I would only take shorts from this zone right here if we get a flip, okay, here inside of this zone. Okay. I would only do it if we get a flip inside of that zone, all right? If we go high-low, you can see we kind of are in our premium area, which is very good, right? So this is the price range where we want to be able to short. You see we're coming back into this high volume area with where those weekly highs were at. So overall, the price model doesn't look bad, okay? It's a decent potential zone. In terms of volume buildup, I didn't really get to take a look, but if we go high-low over here, you see there's some volume built up inside of this range, okay? So not completely sold on this EN right over here, but we will see what happens. So I would say just go to the lower time frame. We have obviously some divergence sticking up over here at that high, which is not too bad, but let's see what happens over here. Let's come down to the 15. Oh, look at this. This has a little 15-minute over here. So let's take a look. So we have a little bit of a 15-minute choke. Okay. We have that market breaking that low. We have some accumulation generating below the low. And this market's moving back up. So I would probably, if anybody does want to take this EN down from this range, let's get rid of that. If anybody wants to take this down from this range, this is sitting at about, not a huge fan, but God bless you, honey. 178,300, right? So 1.78300. You could probably put some tight stops over here at 178,300, or maybe drop down to a 1 minute at this range and see if this market would turn back over, because just working back to this low, you're looking at a good 50, 60 pips back to the low, and 50, 60 pips is really all you need for a day sometimes. So,
Man, hear you?
Huh? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said, Bridget, you don't hear me? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You guys hear me? Everything's good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, my bad.
Can hear you.
So we look at over here. It actually seems like, it ain't that bad. I ain't gonna lie. We're coming back to this little high over here, especially the 15-minute looks phenomenal compared to the 1 hour. So yeah, I would say let's go for it. I would do a light risk on this as well, because honestly, if it starts to violate these highs over here, they're really just gonna go higher. So let me see in the zone. Let me see what we're looking at inside of the zone. Let's go to the short right over here. There's no way this is 30 pips already. That is nuts. Let me see from here to here in this high. That's 7. All right. I would have to do a 20 pip on that. And oh yeah, 60 pips back at the low, 65 pips plus spread. Yeah, that looks pretty good. This is probably what I would do over here. I'd probably be looking to get in at 78 300. I'll probably do a 20 pip stop at the high at 78.5, and I'll probably look to just take it back down to TP1 minimum at that equal low, about 60 pips, giving us about a 1 to 3 in the market. Always like those 1 to 3s at 77.650. So those right there would look pretty good. Alrighty, if you guys are in USD CAD, that USD CAD is melting right now, so that's pretty good. Let's keep our fingers crossed with that. We are approaching the lows on the 5-minute zone, so if you guys feel like you're in some good profits, and if the market starts to consolidate at those lows, it'll probably reverse. So if we get a good break of the lows on USD CAD, if we get that break of that 36,300 area and it keeps dropping, we'll be in the money. But overall, this has been a pretty straight shot to the downside. So we'll be due for a correction pretty soon. Alrighty. So if you guys want to start taking some more partials at these lows, it'll probably be a good thing for you guys. Alrighty. Let me take some more partials on mine. Alrighty. All right, there we go. And then let me trail this. Let's modify. Alrighty, here we go. Some free pips for breakfast. Alrighty. Alrighty. Okay. Lee Page, that don't help, brother. Come on, man. But all right, so we got this going on with EN. Let's take a look. I don't want to forget to put these in. But SM, just do me a super duper favor. I know with 30 pips from that high, but just keep an eye on EN for us while we're on the session, okay, brother?
All right, no worries.
And then let's take a look at EA. See what's going on with EA. I'm not showing. Yeah, of course I'm showing. Everything should be fine. Okay. All right, then let's take a look at EA. What's going on with EA over here? That was that volume zone. That was that little dip and then all that extra stuff. EA never picked up those lows. Down there, EA still moving high. EA moving off that high right over there. Let me see. SM, what are you looking? You're looking for a short off of this EA high right over here. Is that what you're looking at?
Yes, around the flip zone area. What's that? 65100.
Yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. This this wick over here makes me a little bit nervous. You see that wick?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
That's a 90 pip wick, so we have to be careful with this wick over here for sure. Let me see something. 1-4 high low high. Let me see this high low. Yeah, between the 6-1 and the 7-8-6, that's usually like my least favorite area to enter. That's where I always, I'm not gonna say always, but that's where I usually get caught up sometimes. Because once price is above the 618, I kind of just let it keep traveling up. Let me see, and then let me go higher. If I go all the way to the high, I'm sitting between the 618. Sitting at the 618. So 1, 2, 3. I mean, maybe if it happens on EN, maybe it'll happen with EA. All right, I'm gonna give this to you guys. Not my favorite, right? We did get this nice hit off of that extreme LB for EOR. That was a beautiful 600 pip drop right over there as EOR begins to climb higher. Over here, I'm going to give you some of these additional zones. Let me just put some of the volume profile sitting right over here. Fixed range volume. I think this is where most of the volume is sitting. And low, second highest amount of volume is literally right in that area. We have more volume sitting here. Let me see something. Let me see. All right, we have high, low. Put back in, liquidated, low break. Low break over here. Previous low high. Yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting for me. And then high low here in this range. It's this wick that all that volume keeps showing there. Yeah, those volumes are in that range. All right, so I do like these overall higher areas for the shorts. I'm a little unclear as to where the market's going to react in this high over here. So we'll wait till the price does approach that area. In terms of EA, you see EA is really working up, moving up to that zone. I don't feel the most confident, but you know what? If you guys end up, especially because that wick, I probably would not trade this at all. But if anybody does keep their eyes on this, the overall market structure, I see the market structure that we're looking at over here, which is we are getting these break of lows. You see, we're getting those break of lows. We have more break of lows right over there. You have decisional, which is we had some volume accumulation going right towards that extreme equal high, towards that high. So let me take a look at this. Let me see how this is looking. Let me come here to the one quickly as I'm just making some of my decisions over here. High, low, high equals. Let me check the 2. Let me check the 4. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm not super mad at this analysis. I just don't like on a larger structure where the price is sitting, but on a smaller time frame, the 1 hour time frame, it looks to be okay. So maybe if we get this this movement, but if EN, let me see something. We was looking at EA. Let's look at EN here quickly. Let me see what EN was looking like. All right, so if EN, okay, yeah, EN from that zone. See how EN turns over. It's 30 pips, and then I go back to EA. All right, well, these are both definitely noteworthy ideas, all right? So guys, all I'm going to say is that they are really both noteworthy ideas. SM got this down pretty good at 65, 100. We'll see how the market reacts in that area. That's actually right where that wick came. If you guys get that movement over here to the upside, about 10.
They are really both noteworthy ideas. SM got.
Wait, Bridget, mute me, because my playback is playing. There we go. So this is looking pretty noteworthy over here. I would just wait for a confirmation over here, even though this is a 15-minute zone. I'm just a little bit worried over here about this wick over here. So as price approaches this zone, I would say at least look for a 5-minute. I would stick to a 5-minute confirmation. I'd probably wait for this market to slow down at this range. I want to see some momentum to the upside. I would want to see this slow down a little bit. And if I get at least, I don't need a 15-minute confirmation, but if I get a 5-minute confirmation over here at EA, I'll probably take a shot, especially if EA and EN both line up at the same time, and they both approach those zones at the same time. I'll probably play with those a little bit. All righty. So just keep your eyes on that. All right, so EA, EN, they look pretty good. So SM, thank you for those analysis. Those look pretty good. And Bridget, also thank you so much for the USD CAD. That was pretty nice as well, along with the news release. And then let's take a look at Florent. Now, Florent wants us to look at GN and G Chef. Let me take a look at the chat box. Can I look at GU? GU? Yeah, I can take a look at GU. Is GU setting up? Over here quickly. Alrighty. Yeah, GU had a beautiful drop yesterday. How many of you guys got into that GU? What I told you guys was that you could do a very small stop, a light risk on GU if this wick came back up to this equal high. It literally missed it by like 3, 4, 5 pips. So I don't know who got in, but if you guys got in at those highs yesterday, you got a nice 100 pip run to the downside. So that was that's pretty good right over there. Okay, that looks pretty good right over there. So we will, we'll look at that. For GU. Now, if you're talking about GU buying back up at this low, quite possibly it could happen. Looks like GU still wants to come a little bit lower before going higher. Yeah, GU probably might keep coming down a little bit before it goes higher. So I'm not, I want to see GU in a more of a major zone before we do anything. How many of you guys got into GU yesterday? If you guys get into that GU high yesterday, that was really good. And you said AN also looks very good. Let's see here. Right. Yeah, AN's still working the zone. AN's still working that zone. Really, really, really nice. AN's still working that zone really nice, right? So, but anyway, if you guys are not in at AN at those highs, you're probably just let that swing a little bit more unless you're really trading the 1 minute. So once we release, like, we drop a little trending system, we'll give you guys something to work with. All right, let me take a look at GN and G Chef, and then I think we'll get out of here for today. Let's see. GN. All righty. Ah, yes, GN. Okay, forgot about this GN. All right, let's take a look. So we were looking at GN. This zone on GN is an interesting zone, to say the least. We're going to come over here. We looked at, actually think I marked this up for you guys yesterday. I had this on my trading view. We have these highs sitting right over here. I still like these highs right over here. I think there's a good amount of volume built up at these highs. We have a low, high break right over here. So this is kind of like the last high volume point area. I don't really remember what I did too much over here. But we have a decent amount of volume built up right over here in GN. So if we can get this EN to short to the downside, we'll probably get this GN to short also. What I also like is that it literally came right above those highs right over there. So this is what we were talking about yesterday, about GN going just a little bit higher into that range from that high yesterday. If you guys remember, went up a good amount of pips. So now where we're sitting for GN, I would like for GN to also set up in this range. If we take a look at the 4 hour, what are some things to consider in terms of our sellers getting ready to take control? One is if you have an inside candle or a little harami. So you see we have a candle that is completely smaller than the previous candle. So on the 1 hour, on the 4 hour, we have a harami. If we come to the 1 hour, you can see here on the 1 hour, you have another harami, plus you have that market kind of taking its way to the downside. So we're starting to look at that. It looks like some of the sellers might want to take, the sentiment, pardon me. Oh my goodness. The sentiment looks like it could be turning over just a little bit over here on the GBP NZD. When it comes to volume, you see we're still getting some divergence from these lows over here. It seems like there's been a lot of divergence really cooking up lately at some of these highs. I'm not a super fan of whatever this is over here, right? So I'm not really a fan of what we have going on over here at this ending diagonal. But if we come down to the 15-minute, I would say as we look at the 15-minute, we're just going to have to really take a look and see what's going to happen with this GBP NZD. I'm not really feeling that market structure from this high low. But I will say this is that if this 618 right here breaks and this low holds, right? Because once you have a high, low, in order to say that this is going to actually set as the market low, you see over here, we have a little tiny trap candle also by that wick. This is where that market ended up pushing up. So if this low holds, let me see something else here. Let me see low high. That should be another 618. Yep. Alrighty. So if this low ends up holding right over here, this high breaks, I would assume that right back at this 786, 886 area, or even at this equal high, we'll probably be able to get that market to come down. Now, if we keep looking at GBP NZD, we can see our 127 is a little bit higher, and our 1618 is even sitting at the very, very high at this range. So whenever we start to see stuff like this, and I'm getting multiple entry points without a really clear confirmation on the market structure, that right there always makes me wonder, is this market set up yet? Right? Because we have 1, 2, literally 3 entries, okay? Because we don't have a proper flip on GBP NZD over here, and I'd rather go for the 15-minute opposed to the 5-minute. Alrighty. So as of right now, we have high, low accumulation. If we start to get some liquidity to be able to build this up, we get that nice TTL to continue to build this up into this range. It's about 40 pips right over there. I'm then going to see how the market pretty much reacts at that high if we want to be able to take that back down. Alrighty. If it just ends up dropping because Euro NZD and the others drop, then that's going to be great. But I just have, I don't know, I have a little bit of a feeling over here that we may keep getting this GBP NZD to move towards the upside right over there. All right. And just taking a look at this 5-minute structure, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, break of low, previous highs broken right over there. There goes those highs getting violated. Yeah, I think we're going to continue to get this GBP NZD to move to the upside. Yeah. I think GN's going to keep going up. But I think overall we'll be able to get a pretty good short on GN. I'm going to save these zones on the scanner for you guys because I know we have a long day ahead of us. So I'll keep those zones on the scanner for you guys to check out, okay? And then I don't have time to go over the other pairs. I was also supposed to look at GU and UJ and also GBP Chef, but I do not have the time to go over because I have a tight appointment. I've been waiting 30 days with this. Bridget's like, I'm in profit on GU. Let's go. But alrighty. So just a quick recap over here today. Hopefully, you guys are doing pretty good. Today we had some profits on that USD Chef, so that was pretty good. GN running up. I would like to see, again, this GN just continue to climb high, and then we'll look at how the market structure sets up for a potential short on GN. All right. If we're looking at GBP JPY, I feel the same exact way. Now, again, GJ has a good volume accumulation building up right over here. I'm not sure how low that GJ is going to come before it runs up. But as GJ does run back high into this area, I want to see how GJ is going to react right around this 173,500, 173,600. I want to see how GJ is going to react in that range. So that way we can get a move back down to this downside at 150 pips. I think that's going to be pretty interesting. And then as we look at AUD, JPY, again, I want to see the same exact thing. I think AJ may continue to come down before we get that little bit move back up. And then overall, we'll see what happens with AJ. Because if we get GJ to go down, maybe we'll get AJ to go down. We showed you guys the larger market structure. So we'll see what happens really with those, right? I kind of want to swing them in both directions and see what happens. But I need both of them to come to their zones respectively. Okay, and then if we look at EN, much similar to GN. I would like to see EN also come up just a little bit more. Oh no, we're right here in this range. I don't know what's going on. All right, there we go. Want to see EN come up a little bit more, and then we'll see what happens at this price point at 78,300, and then see if we'll get, at least a little 5-minute confirmation to just bring that back to the downside for Euro NZD. And I think it was the same for Euro Odd over here. Alrighty. So pretty much the same thing for Euro Odd, and we'll see what happens with that Euro Odd as well as it starts to climb a little bit. As it starts to climb a little bit higher to that 65,100 area. Okay, just be very careful with the odds and the pounds, because I don't know. I just have like this weird feeling that they may keep gaining strength. So we're gonna have to see what happens. All right. And again, this dollar is just kind of just holding that high. So, if it goes up, if it keeps going up, those other pairs will keep going down. So that's what I would like to see. All righty. There's some other markups on the scanner, so feel free to take a look at the other markups that are happening. Remember, if you guys are in USD CAD, you guys should have already taken partials for USD CAD over here at that high. Where you guys are in, you guys should be in right about that high. Make sure you guys are taking partials on that. So you guys should be pretty good for that already. Alrighty. If UCAD keeps coming down, maybe we'll get UCAD to keep coming down. But if it stops me out, I've already made some decent profits on that. So we'll see if that CAD keeps coming down. Alrighty. And I think I have to refresh my scanner to get these markups. I don't know what is going on. They're working on these updates, so there's definitely some glitches. I know I saved that markup on USD CAD and it's not there, and that's extremely frustrating. Same thing for EN. I know I saved the markup on that. That's great. You kidding me? You're telling me these markups didn't save? Wow, these markups really did not save. Are you kidding me? But GN wants to save? Oh, man. Oh, that's so weird. All right, yeah, look at that GN go to the upside. Had a really good feeling about that. Alrighty, but anyway, guys, look, thank you guys so much. Again, we had a pretty good day yesterday. Hope you guys will have a good day today. Guys, just again, meeting of the minds, put your heads together. Just share your ideas in the chat room and do what you guys do best. All right, let's have a great day. I love you guys. Jesus loves you guys. And Market Watch team, guys, again, thank you so much for everything and for being here with us today. All right, I love you guys.
Yeah, no.